Senate Republicans voted against an IVF bill in the Senate, so that means Republicans are against IVF and Project 2025 is alive and well. That's what you're being told, and now I'm going to tell you the truth. If you want the short answer, both parties once again are playing politics. Here are the facts. On 6/3/2024, Senate Democrats introduced a bill protecting IVF, as well as other things a lot to do with health insurance, that health insurance plans must include IVF if they deal with prenatal care at all. This bill was voted on and turned down by Republicans months ago, but then they brought it back for another vote. The key information that people are missing is that Senate Republicans actually introduced their own IVF bill on 5/20, and it has been in committee. Senator Ted Cruz asked that this bill come out of committee yesterday, and Democrats refused. Now, this bill is very short and sweet. It says that they are amending the Social Security Act to require, as a condition of receiving federal Medicaid funding, that states do not prohibit IVF. You might think that this is a little weird to go about this. This is how a lot of stuff at the federal level is effectively mandated, because states need the federal funding to survive. So they're not going to do anything that's going to risk losing their federal funds. And they make it known in this bill that if a doctor does not want to provide IVF treatment, they do not have to. So yes, both parties want to protect IVF. Both parties have their own IVF bills. But here's the thing, I am sure there are flaws in each bill. So you know what adults are supposed to do? They're supposed to come together and hash it out. And Senator Cruz went to the Senate floor yesterday to say that this is just a show because in all 50 states, IVF is legal. But he said we're narrowing in on an election, and really what's going to happen is Republicans are going to vote no on the Democrat IVF bill. And what are going to be the headlines right after that? Republicans are against IVF. That is exactly what happened right after that vote. Both parties are acting like children. Because really what it is right now, let's say that Republican bill gets voted on and passed. Then Republicans are going to be the heroes and they're going to say, we protected IVF. Look at us Republicans, we're so great. And Democrats, if they pass their bill, it would be the same story. Look at us Democrats, we want to protect IVF, we're so great. And if it wasn't voted on, we see what's happening now. They're just saying Republicans don't want to protect IVF. If this situation sounds familiar, it's because it happens all the time. It's also happened with border bills. We always hear about how Trump killed a border bill that was passed in the Senate and on the way to the House, but not a lot of people hear about this border bill that was actually passed in the House and waiting for the Senate to vote on it. Once again, it's the same situation. If the Senate votes on the Republican bill, then Republicans fix immigration. And then if the House votes on the other one, then Democrats save the day. None of these big decisions are going to happen right before the election, guys. It's just not. And right now, the House has less than 2 weeks to fund the government, so that's what they're worried about right now. If you're on my X page, go ahead and watch this 13-minute video. It summarizes everything completely. You hear from a Republican, you hear from a Democrat, and it's the same language they use for everything. So it gives you a really good idea on how our government is being run. And whether you like Cruz or not, his statement here is completely true. He says this is not lawmaking, it's politics. This is partisan politics. This is an election campaign commercial. As always, let me know your thoughts and make sure you're following me for more.